Hello, welcome, or welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. Clearly, we're doing something a little bit different. This has been something that's been working its way through me for the last couple months, and I feel like I kind of finally have the energy to put it out there. Forgive me if you can hear me breathing kind of hard. I'm nervous. That's also been part of the process, getting over the fear, because new shit, right? Scary. And I don't really think that there's anything else kind of out there like this, which is the heretic in me. So before I kind of get ahead of myself, clearly we are talking about human design. Maybe that wasn't clear, but okay. We're talking about human design. And specifically for the purpose of these readings, we are going to be talking about your human design profile. Now, this may be the first time that you're hearing about human design, maybe not. I mean, you can be kind of diving into it too. I have been doing a deep dive into it. And what made me take that dive is my profile. I'm a 5/1, which is a heretic investigator, which is also where part of my name comes from, the name of this channel and the name of my business. So, reading about my profile, I mean, literal tears were were coming out of my eyes, because it was the first time and probably ever in my life that I had actually felt seen and understood, and I didn't feel inherently flawed, and I didn't feel crazy, for having the experiences that I had had. So from there, and with the 5/1 profile, it is very hard to be seen. So again, just feeling that recognition, hell yeah. I was like, give me everything. I need to know absolutely everything. And I don't, I'm not an authority on this. I'm not claiming to be, I am claiming to be a heretic and bringing more information. I do still have an intention of doing the Zodiac sign readings, but this is just a different way for you to get information regarding your situation. And that's what my intention is. Because also the one line in my profile loves investigation and just kind of having that information. That's not everybody, of course, but like I said, it's something different outside of your sun, moon, and rising sign. So, the readings are going to be the same. I mean, we'll get to, of course, the good stuff, but I just kind of want to set my intentions here and what you can expect. Really, the only thing that's changing is, like I said, we're not going to go by Zodiac. We're going to go by human design profile. At the beginning of each profile reading, I do have an intention of reading some new information. Like clearly, like I have the definitive book of human design here, which comes from the School of Human Design, which I did not attend, but I bought the book. And I think it's, of course, just starting at the source, right? Or not. Okay. And then, I have a few other books. There's a few other blogs, and things. So, I do intend to just kind of give a bit more information on each profile every time I put these readings out. And then from there, we're just going to go into like the regular tarot reading. So that part is going to stay the same. Now, if you know your profile, you can just skip ahead because you would be here because this is your profile. But if you don't know your profile yet, I'll link the website below. I use Joven Archive because, again, you know, it's kind of coming from the original. There are plenty of options when it comes to getting your human design. So, I mean, you can just Google human design chart and pick one. Of course, I mean, pick one that's free. I think for the most part they are, most of them, all of them. So you'll need the same information you need for your natal chart. So you'll need your birth date, the time, and location. Now with human design, the time does need to be as accurate as you can get it, because there are certain things that can change based on the time. So again, you would want to try to get that as accurate as you can. If you don't know the exact time, maybe you know that you were born sometime in the morning, maybe you know that you were born sometime in the afternoon or evening or overnight. You know, I mean, you can kind of use a general time that correlates to the time of day. Like morning, you can use 6 or 8 o'clock, afternoon, noon or 2 o'clock, evening, 6 or 8 o'clock, overnight, you know, I don't know, 1 or 3 o'clock. And if you don't really know that, like I have a friend who has no clue, like the time isn't even on her birth certificate, but she has always had this feeling that she was born in the morning and has just kind of rolled with that. So, you know, but you'll put in your information and you'll see your body graph. This one is mine. Aw. Now, your body graph is going to be unique to you. I don't think that it's impossible, but I think it's incredibly rare for somebody else to have your same exact design. There might be similarities, but as far as it being exact, that's pretty rare. Like my cousin and I have the same centers defined, which means that those centers are colored in. And we have some of the same channels and gates, which are those red or black areas between the centers, but it's not exactly the same. But there's a lot of similarities between us, but of course there's a lot of differences. So you'll see on the right or the left side, there's those numbers in red, that's the design side. And on the left, there's the numbers in black, which is your personality. And those numbers are the correlating gates, which again are the red and black lines between the centers. And the centers are those areas that are either colored in, there's 9 of them. They're either colored in or defined, or they are white or undefined. You can have all of them colored in, you could have none of them colored in, and you can have any combination of that in between. So it depending on how your screen looks, you might have to scroll down a little bit, or it might be to the right, but you'll see that there's listed a type, which would be either a manifestor, a generator, a manifesting generator, a projector, or a reflector. You'll see definition, you'll see strategy, you'll see your profile, your inner authority, your not self theme, and your incarnation cross. Now, we are focusing on your profile. Some would say, and I would of course agree with them, that one of the more important aspects of human design is understanding your type, your strategy, and authority, because that is how it is best for you to operate in the world or navigate life in the best way suited for your personal design. So, I mean, you can just Google or jump on YouTube and type in manifestor type, or just manifestor human design, you know, whatever your type is, manifesting generator, you know, whatever your type is, just type that information. I mean, there's so much good information. Of course, you can buy books if that's what you're into. However, I will leave that more to you for the time being. And like I said, we are going to focus on your profile. And before we get into the readings, and actually before I even skip too far ahead, there are 12 profiles. And those are 1-3, which is the investigator martyr, 1-4, which is investigator opportunist, 2-4, the hermit opportunist, 2-5, hermit heretic, 3-5, martyr heretic, 3-6, martyr role model, 4-6, opportunist role model, 4-1, opportunist investigator, 5-1, heretic investigator, 5-2, heretic hermit, 6-2, role model hermit, and 6-3, role model martyr. So again, you'll find that there once you pull up your chart. And if you are new to human design, I just, because some people are like, what the hell? What is that? And again, I think that, I could talk for hours about what it is. And maybe someday I will. But for now, I just wanted to give this little snippet out of the definitive book of human design. It says the human design system is not a belief system. It does not require that you believe in anything. It is neither stories nor philosophy. It is a concrete map to the nature of being, a mapping of your genetic code. This ability to be able to detail the mechanics of our nature in such depth is obviously profound because it reveals our complete nature in all its subtleties. Excuse me. Human design opens a door to the potential of self-love, a love of life, and the love of others through understanding. Ra'uruhu. And that's the guy that channeled human design back in 1980 something. So that's just a little snippet about human design. And we're going to get on to the actual reading. Welcome. So, sorry, I was looking for my dog. So if you're here, you're a 3-6 martyr role model. And we're just going to read a little blurb from the definitive book of human design on what the 3-6 profile is. And then we'll get into the tarot portion. So clearly this is a few pages long. I'm not going to read both pages. I'm just going to read the background right here. And then we'll get into the tarot reading. Did I just say that? I don't know. So the background says, when the pessimism of the martyr meets the optimism of the role model, together they attempt to sort out what they really can trust in life. The 3-6 profile expresses a possibility that trial and error can lead to wisdom. All 6th lines have a 3-stage life process. During the first 30 years, they operate as a 3rd line. The martyr role model, therefore, starts out life as a double 3rd line, deeply involved in experiencing life through one discovery after another, making and breaking bonds along the way. In stage 2, 30 to 50 years old, the role model tries to climb up on the roof to take a break and observe life. The conscious 3rd line continues to re-engage with life, however, pulling the 6th line down into the world again. Neither the 3-6 nor the 6-3 profiles ever really get the pure roof time that the 4-6 and 6-2 profiles do. Potentially, the 3-6's discoveries will be expressed as balanced and mature wisdom in stage 3 after age 50. A time when the 3-6 climbs down off the roof and re-engages completely in life. With its unique and aloof perspective, the role model judges life in terms of what is perfect or not, while the bumping along in the trenches martyr discovers what does not work. Together they can stand up for a truth and model in different ways the transition possible for humanity if we transcend our conditioning, embrace our stages of maturing, become our own authority, and live as our unique, aware, and authentic selves. Does that sound like you? Specifically, that third line. So, the third line, that is that trial and error that it was talking about. So, you might just kind of be naturally, of course, like one of those people that, or you may just know about yourself that you have to try things in order to see if they work or not. And specifically, if they don't work. Sorry, I'm really distracted by my dog. I apologize. Are you finding yourself distracted? It's not even like he's doing anything specific, but I keep looking for him. So I don't know. Like, I don't know if that's me or just the energy of this read. I don't know. So anyway, that third line, right? And it's almost like you have to have some type of stimulation in order to kind of feel good. It's like you have to be trying something in order to, like not be bored or not feel like lethargic. Now, I don't necessarily have like an actual spread or anything set up for this. I was just gonna shuffle a few times, cut the deck, lay some cards out. But there he is. But that sixth line, so, it was saying that there's 3 stages that a sixth line will go through. And the ultimate goal is to be able to reach that role model status, right? And for you guys, the role model would be, being able to express those things that don't work. That's where that wisdom comes from. I feel like the cards are getting kind of annoyed with me. Like, it's just a feeling. Let me just... Let's just do this. Okay. So, that's where that 3 stages of life comes from. So the first 30 years. Is it 30? Yeah. The first 30 years, right? Like it was saying, you're experiencing life to its fullest, right? Like you're bumping up against experiences, you're bumping up against people, you're making and breaking bonds with people, or even, like jobs or experiences, right? And then from 30 to 50, that roof that they're talking about is you kind of go into this phase of like wanting to just kind of observe. Like you take the experiences that you gained in your first 30 years and you kind of start unpacking them. Excuse me, I'm just spitting all over the place now too. But you start unpacking all of those lessons. However, again, like I said, right, with that third line, it's kind of like you have to have something kind of stimulating you. So, like it just said, the 3-6 and the 6-3s don't really kind of get that time on the roof. They do, but it's not like the full thing, right? Because that 3 is like, no, I need to be doing something. I need to be learning something. I need to be trying something. So, so it's kind of like this balance. And maybe if you are somewhere between the ages of 30 and 50, maybe you kind of feel that like push and pull of you know, kind of wanting to kind of take a break from those experiences, take a break from bumping up against something, you know, the trial and error process. And honestly, like really kind of honor those when that comes up, honor that. Until, you know, you maybe get that next kind of third line. And that's where it was talking about your strategy and authority, because that'll tell you if it feels good for you or not. Like if you should, you know, kind of come back down off the roof a little bit to experience that thing. And then, you know, from 50 on, and it's really, I believe that it kind of follows like your Saturn return. So we generally have a Saturn return somewhere between like 28 and a half to 30. And then we have another Saturn return somewhere in our 50s. So I know that it didn't specifically reference that, but I do believe that's, I could be wrong about that. I was just trying to think anyway, it would make sense to me in my head, but like I said, you know, it wasn't in the book specifically. But so, you know, after 50, that's when, you know, you come back off the roof and you're able to kind of be that role model, right? I mean, it's in the name, but you know, you're able to kind of share that wisdom with other people. Like, you know what doesn't work. And maybe you are still stacking up experiences and kind of still learning the things that don't work. But there is kind of more balance between, you know, that pessimism that it was talking about with the 3 and that optimism of the 6. So let's see. We have the 7 of Stones, or the 7 of Pentacles, the 7 of Cups, the 5 of Thunder, or the 5 of Swords. We have the Devil, 5 of Wands, and Harvest of Cups, or the King of Cups. And then we have the 2 of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Interesting. So we have the 7 of Pentacles. And the 7 of Pentacles talks about this like commitment to what you're doing. You know, Pentacles talk about money. It talks about resources. It can talk about our health. It also talks about our time and energy. Like, what are we doing with our time and energy? How are we spending that, right? And the 7 of Pentacles, like, understands that you have to kind of foster a thing in order for it to grow. Sorry about that. Again, with the distraction from my dog. I apologize. So, right, like the 7 of Pentacles, and you may be even experiencing, like, you know, seeing the fruits of your labor also, because, I mean, these little plants have bloomed here. So, you know, you could be experiencing, you know, there could have been something that you have been spending a lot of time and attention in or doing, and maybe that has to do with, you know, like how you make your money. Maybe it has to do with your health and fitness, right? But again, I mean, like, you may be at this point where you're like, okay, I'm finally starting to see things changing. And we have the devil underneath that. The devil is a card of Capricorn. And the Capricorn is very like focused on what they're doing, right? As far as like work goes. You don't have to be a Capricorn. That's just what's tied to the devil, or the sign associated with. And the devil talks about, you know, like temptation. And the devil's going to show us, you know, kind of where, like, what are we maybe getting a bit too obsessive about something? Are we maybe a bit too attached to the thing? Because there is this chain here, right? So, you know, is this kind of maybe an issue of like not wanting to let go of something? Like, you know, that it's maybe even run its course and you're having a hard time letting it go. Honestly, I mean, this could even be a toxic relationship. And of course, I mean, relationship can be anything from romantic, platonic, business, even. It could be the job that you have. Like maybe, you know, you've been in a position for a long time. And that's maybe why you don't want to leave. This honestly almost kind of feels like the pessimism of the third line and the optimism of the sixth line, really. And then we have the Seven of Cups here. And the Seven of Cups is literally options. You know, I mean, it could be trying things out. There's, you know, like kind of like a daydreamy energy that comes with the Seven of Cups also. So, I mean, you know, like you could be, you know, you're like your head may be in the clouds a little bit. This could also be, you know, like all of the responsibilities that you have. And maybe that's what's, you know, kind of keeping you stuck or stagnant, because, you know, you think in your head, like, you know, I can't really leave this situation because, you know, I have all of these, you know, like responsibilities. This could even be like having too many options, like just too many different things to choose from. And it's almost kind of saying, choose one, you know, like just focus on one thing. You don't have to focus on all seven or however many, you know, you feel like you have. Just choose one. Pick one. Pick one. Just, I know that sounds nothing like him, but I just like, I think about the crab in Moana. He's like talking about his eye. Anyway. And then the Five of Wands underneath there. So it's interesting that we have 2 7s and 2 5s. I heard in my head they cancel each other out. I don't know, we'll explore that a little bit more. But the Five of Wands talks about, you know, there's this competition element to it. But there's also like this training element, like, you know, whatever may be going on here could even maybe even be preparing you for that next step. Or because, you know, what comes after the Five of Wands is the Six of Wands. So you come out of the Five of Wands successful. So, you know, I mean, this competition isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it is going to ask you to give your all. Like you are going to almost kind of be demanded to like work for it, is the feeling that I'm getting from it. And then we have the Five of Swords. Or the Five of Thunder, as it is in this deck. And, you know, the Five of Swords, to me, it's like a card of ego. Because again, there is this, you know, kind of competition element to it, or not competition, but competitive. It's like a battle of wits when it comes to the Five of Swords. But, you know, I don't know, like the more that I stare at this card, I mean, you know, like her knees are dirty here, and she's got help from this fox to take these lightning bolts up to the top here. Because it doesn't really seem like anything is being taken away from this figure. So this could even just be saying like, you know, this could even be like, I heard in my head how, you know, they cancel each other out, because there's this, you know, like having to kind of like hustle and grind for the thing. And like I said, you know, it is going to ask you to really kind of give it your all, right? Because again, like after the Five of Wands is the Six of Wands, and that's success and harmony and recognition, right? But then this Five of Thunder or Five of Swords over here, it has this like teamwork feel to it. Like, you know, if you think that you should be at a better place than you are, this has this feeling of like, you know, kind of letting go of that. Because I think if you were to, you know, like release that a little bit, I think you would actually come to, I don't know, I'm like stopping myself because I'm also trying to put myself in your shoes, and I'm like, I don't know if I would come to this conclusion myself. And I've had many people tell me like exactly what I was going to say to you, and it doesn't necessarily help, but I'll say it anyway, knowing that it may not help. But I am definitely, you know, like I am one of those people that I do not give myself enough credit at all. I've never, I take that back. For the longest time, you know, I wouldn't even consider like where I am compared to where I was even, you know, a month ago, 6 months, a year, whatever, few years. And for whatever reason, that just didn't matter, right? Like it was because I never quite felt like I was where I wanted to be. And I'm not even sure, and this is, maybe a thing too, because I finally came to this realization because I asked myself one time, like, where is it you want to be? And I'm sitting here like, I don't know. I'm like, what level of success would you be happy with? Right? Like, what type of fruits of labors would you consider successful? And that could be why this devil is coming out too, because maybe you are not recognizing that you are actually further along than you think. Or maybe you're even in a better position than you think. And you've fought to get there. Like, this was all you that was propelling you forward and getting you to the place where you're at right now. And the Five of Thunder, or the Five of Swords, like the feeling that I'm getting from this specific depiction of it is that you can accept help. Maybe, like there might be something or somebody that shows up in your existence that just kind of maybe helps you get either to that place of recognition or to that place where you feel like you can accept the help. Because, right, like I was saying, like I was kind of looking at her knees here. I mean, clearly, like, she's climbed up this mountain too, right? And the last two little lightning bolts, right? Like, maybe it's not you that needs to put those last two lightning bolts up there. Maybe, like I said, there can be some sort of help. And then we have the Harvest of Cups, who is the King of Cups at the end here. And the King of Cups, the kings are the highest expression of the suit, right? And cups have to do with our emotions. So, the King of Cups is like content. There's not too much, there's not too little. There's a confidence level that comes, and it's almost like, there's this, there's these little circles that are the colors of the rainbow. And then we actually have the rainbow here. So I don't know, it's like it goes from being like individual to like coming together. Let me see what the card says. Guide emotions and situations with confidence and connection to subtle energies. If you are struggling for too much control, maintain humility and be open to continual learning. And, I mean, the devil is, also very much about like control too. So it's interesting that we have the devil here and then the Harvest of Cups here, which is telling you to release a bit of that control. I also love how the rainbow is kind of mirrored on this goat here. There's also this transformation that I'm seeing, like just to kind of like, so, we go from the Five of Thunder, right? And like, maybe you're struggling to get up to the top of the mountain, and there's this like transformation into this mountain goat that has like no problem transversing a mountain, right? And that could be because there was some level of control that was given up here. And maybe you just, like you kind of decided to just flow with it and just kind of see where it took you. You accepted the help. And then we have the Two of Cups at the bottom of the deck and the Ace of Thunder behind that. And the Emperor, the 10, yeah. The Two of Cups is like reciprocity. Like what you're giving, you're getting back, right? Like both of these figures are drinking from a cup, right? There's like this mirrored emotion. Granted, the Two of Cups does talk about relationship. And again, that can be anything from romantic, platonic, business. But it is like, maybe kind of finally feeling like, the energy that you are putting into a situation, or that you are putting into a job, or that you are putting into a relationship, you're getting back as much that you're putting in. Whether that's a new relationship, a new job, right? Or, I mean, it could be within your current relationship or your current job, but it would also mean too that, like there is this kind of transition that's happening, this transformation that's happening. And then the Ace of Thunder or the Ace of Swords would say that there's like this new perspective coming in, like feeling inspired, having, like great ideas, and just kind of feeling that like spark of ideas and creation. Very cool. I'm going to leave it there. And if you've made it this far, thank you so much for being on this journey with me. And I am so happy to be on that journey with you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.